Hey up, me ducks. I made it. So let me just get myself sorted. I'm all discombobulated. Make sure everything. Oh, look, Becca. If you're here, I put your thing up on the wall finally. So how are we all? Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. It's just been one of those days. Open up the chat. Oh, it says 36 people watching. You're very patient. Thank you. I did post something just into the chat above, just saying that I might be a little bit late. So I hope you saw that. Here he is. Stuff happens. Don't worry. I was on one of those calls about upgrading my phone. I'm due an upgrade and I keep getting all these things about it. So I rang up 3:15, so a good 45 minutes ago, and it was just going around in circles, this and this. Finally chose a phone, chose a package. I'm like, I've really got to be somewhere for 4 o'clock. And then he said, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Harrison, we can't deliver any phones now till January because of Black Friday. I'm like, unless you want to try a different color. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I'll ring you back next week. So I could go downstairs, go with a completely different network and walk out with a phone today. And, you know, saying, thank you for being a customer for the last 11 years. Yeah, can you do many deals on that? No, not really. So, yeah, 45 minutes on the phone. So I just quickly made a coffee as I was finishing up the call. Oh, that's kind of weird. So I have got, for my cuppa, I don't know what you guys have got, but I have got mulled wine coffee. I'm feeling all festive because I've got my lights and everything up. Mulled wine coffee. I also bought, which is my favourite while I was there, it's from a little Christmas store downstairs, the amaretto almond. Now that is lovely. And the smell of this, oh, it's gorgeous. The taste of it, first kind of hit on the tongue, I was like, ooh, and I was like, ooh. I'm having cinnamon coffee. Oh, that one sounds good. Amaretto almond. Yes, Jen, it is lovely. It's my favourite beanies. But this was new. And it's freeze dry, instant mulled wine. But yeah, it's really different. So what you got? Builder's tea, says Karen. Jen, the middle-aged baby witch, straight up black coffee, as dark as my soul. Butter truffle flavoured tea. That sounds nice. Earl Grey for Tammy Pie. Watermelon lime green tea for Diana. Robin's having blueberry blintzes and hot cider with cinnamon. You guys are getting so creative with your cuppas. You're leaving me to shame. Boring peppermint. Boring's not peppermint. Peppermint's not, can't speak. Peppermint's not boring, sure. Peppermint coffee with schnapps. Check out Raven Song on the hard stuff. Instant organic coffee. The smell of this is divine. The mulled wine coffee, but I have it black. I can't add milk to mulled wine. But they have latte Oreos. Hey, right at home. Happy Saturday afternoon to you too. You must be in the UK then if it's Saturday afternoon. Oh, there's Becca. Builder's tea for me. Hi all. Hi, Becca. Only a teaspoon of schnapps. I've actually got some Baileys in the fridge for the Christmas Cuppa catch-up and cards. More on that later. And every time I open the fridge door and I see it, I think, oh, I could have a little bit in my coffee, but I'm not. It's for Christmas. Because I'm doing really well, guys. Back on my weight loss plan, my healthy eating plan. I've lost 8.5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. So 3.5 this week, 5 last week. So I'm focusing, because obviously I'll put it all back on over Christmas. No, I won't. I'll be careful. But thank you, Karen. So things like Bailey's in the fridge, it's a temptation, but my desire to be healthy is overriding that desire at the moment. Thanks, Jen. Oh, Heidi's here. Hello, Heidi. Oh, hello, Elle. Good to see you as well. Have you got your hammer and nails out? What are you building with your builder's tea? So that's what we call really strong tea. That's just your regular, you know, black tea off the shelf, like PG Tips or Thai Fu. We make it strong where you can stand a spoon up in it. That's builder's tea. Thank you, Donna. Hello, Donna. I have seen your glide, but it goes to freeze framing at the end, and you're like, so I couldn't. I thought, oh, I'll try afterwards, because then I had to make the call to the network company. Hello, Simon, my lad. Been a long time since I was called a lad. You're so good, Simon. I try. Moon Baby. Hello, Brant. Good to see you. So, wow, there's 66 people here already. So, I don't know what. It's got an aftertaste. I'm not sure I like it, but I'm stuck with it now, at least for this chat anyway. So, I'm sure you don't want to entertain yourselves while I go and get a proper coffee. You need a new cuppa. I do. It's leaving a horrible taste in my mouth. Anybody want me to send them some mulled wine coffee? A stone is £14. Yes, 40. Originally, I lost £198, but then in the last year, from going on my trip around the UK, staying in hotels on the road, quite a bit went back on. So now I'm trying to get it back off so I can get back to my target weight. If you look back to my original videos, I was actually underweight. And the worst thing I could be told by my consultant was, you need to put weight on, because it was right before Christmas and I went for it. Go get a proper coffee. All right, then, just enjoy my decks for a couple of minutes. The kettle's already boiled, so I'm just going to pour it straight in. I'm back. Oh, proper coffee with almond milk. Yes, I'm with you, Dee Dee. Mulled wine, yep. Mulled wine and coffee together. No, it don't work. So I'll just stick to my favourite with the flavoured coffees, which is my amaretto almond. Oh, that's so much better. That's so lovely. So how are we all? Hope you're all having a great week. Good to see so many people here. 80 people. Wow. So welcome, welcome. I've also, this is just how things are for me. I mean, Jen is in the room. Jen's Balanced Tarot and Dropsies and all that sort of thing. I've had 2 near disasters in the last 24 hours. 2. One was just about 2 hours ago. I filled the kettle, put it on to boil, and I don't know what I was thinking. It's going to sound really bizarre, but I put my mug down. I put the tea, actually. I put a flavoured tea bag in, and I was looking at my phone at the same time, and I poured the water, and I didn't even look. I wasn't even pouring into the mug. I was pouring directly onto the work surface, which splashed up. So I was like, so then what did I do? I dropped the kettle, boiling water everywhere. Luckily, I didn't get scolded or anything. It did splash up, but yeah, it could have been much worse. Last night, and a few people know about this already, and this is kind of a public service warning as well to people out there at this time of year. I mean, if I was to show you now, I probably could. My altar over here, you know, has got some candles and things on it, as you can see, lit up there. Well, just this little table, I'm trying to do it in reverse here now, and it's not going to work. So the little table, there we go, just there, between the TV and the unit, had a candle on it, and I had all my candles lit last night. So like I've got here, I've got one at the side of me. My altar was lit up. It was really looking really nice. Yes, Jen. And I've been in Becca's chat, which, you know, I was enjoying Becca's chat. And then I decided to go to bed. So I picked up my mug to go and wash it in the kitchen, and Elle glided me. And I was talking to Elle, and I was walking towards the kitchen with my mug, switched off from talking to Elle, and out the corner of my eye, I saw flames. And what, I don't know how it happened, because I have did have an altar cloth that covers over my sacred space and goes down at each side. And there's a table next to it, but the candle was like here, and the altar cloth was like that. There was a good 5 inches between it. Now, whether the cloth just got very hot or whether a spark had gone, I don't know. But the cloth was very thin, like altar cloths can be, you know, the almost like muslin cloth. And it just went all up the sides, these flames. My first instinct was to blow, which I realized in a nanosecond that was stupid. And I could see it going up towards, you know, I've got the wall hanging with all the cards on, the radiant wise, and going up towards the side. So I just ran into the kitchen, filled a pan full of water. This is all in like 10 seconds. By the time I came back in, the flames had gone all up the side and was now coming across part of the altar. And I've got, that unit is beautiful. I've had it nearly 20 years. It's mahogany. It's done a lot of wood damage around the side. But the cloth was, bits of the cloth were dropping in gloops. And I just doused everything in water. Thankfully, I wasn't in the kitchen. You know, 2 seconds of me going through that door, I'd been washing the pots. I would have been out of the room for at least 5 minutes, and this place would have been ablaze. If I'd gone to the toilet or something like that, I cannot get over how quickly that took and was, you know, ravaging everything. It was unbelievable. Sorry, I've not looked at any comments as I'm recounting that story. Sounds like it was silk or nylon. I think it was nylon cloth. Yeah. Kelly, oh, Kelly's here. Hello. What fresh? Yeah, just two disasters in 24 hours. A fire in my front room. Luckily, I got it under control by just throwing water over everything. It was my altar went up, the cloth caught fire. And then the other one was me pouring water, missing the cup, splashing up, and in my dropping the kettle of scalding water everywhere. Thankfully, that didn't do any damage other than I had to get the mop out. But I'm not safe. Really not safe. But who was it? I was gliding at the time. I think it was Becca, and she said, "You look really shook up." And it does. It kind of, you just realise that could have been a lot worse. Adrenaline kicks in, and you just do what you have to do in that moment. Ironically, earlier that day, and I turned him away because it got the wrong time, somebody had come about sprinkler systems that by law we've got to have fitted now since the Grenfell fire disaster. And I've put it off and put it off and put it off because I'm worried about them, to be honest. You know, if a sprinkler goes off in here, if I've got flames or and it goes off, the damage that they do. There is a legal battle because apparently the law is saying in high rises they can be in communal areas, but you can't force people to have them in their own homes. They are saying you are, and if you don't have them, you're going to be evicted. So they knocked on the door yesterday and I said, look, I'm working today. I've got a lot on. You did say you would come on a Thursday evening. You didn't come last night. And he looked at his notes and said, you're right, I'll be back next Thursday. And then I have a fire. The first one, I've never had a fire, but the universe is telling you to be careful of fire and heat, says Karen. What are you like, dude? Glad you're okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Like I say, I'm just so thankful to the God and Goddess because, you know, my little guy could have gone up in flames as well and everything on there, but everything don't bear thinking about. Really doesn't bear thinking about. But thankfully, I think they are heat trigger. It must be, Becca, because it wasn't either that or a little spark or something, because it had been lit, because it gets dark about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd been working from home, so I did light them middle afternoon. This was what, when you came off chat, 10:15 last night. So it'd probably been on for about 7 hours. It probably just got hot and off it went. Billy says, I offer my numpty coordination fail. My dyspraxia classic this week was mistiming opening a car door and opened it into my head. Oh, my mum did that and had a real bad black eye. I have an egg bump above my eye now. It's painful as well. Hope it heals soon, Billy. I don't take my eyes off the candles. I know, and I have, in my own error, gone to the shops and come back and there's a candle burning and I've been like, one in a jar, thankfully. I hadn't seen it. And I thought, oh, goodness. But this one that was on there that caused the fire is in a glass jar. So, Simon, it just makes my belly hurt to think of it. I know. It does me. I try not to think about it. I went straight to bed after that and I was laying in bed thinking, and there's that smell, you know, that burning smell when something synthetic is torched. Note to self, don't live in your building. Yeah. The good thing about living in these buildings, and it has been proven, sadly it's been proven, I have to add that, the walls are concrete and steel. So if there are fires, you just lock yourself in. That is we don't have fire escape routes. Well, we do if you're out and about, but the drill is you do not go out. If there's a fire, you lock yourself in because you are at your safest. And sadly, about a year after I moved here, somebody down on the 9th floor lost their life, but the whole fire was contained within their apartment. So it is quite a safe place to live as long as the fire's not in your own apartment. Natural fibre clothes only for Simon. Great news is Simon has a great excuse to get one of the Peggy cloths. I know. I have just put a little cloth on today just in the centre, but I won't have a big draping cloth now. Not worth the risk. What floor are you on? The 19th. I'm on the top floor. I'm in the penthouse suite. That sounds very posh, doesn't it? But yeah, 19th floor. Some really nice views. Didn't realise it was that bad in my life. Good job, it wasn't worse. It's too much effort looking for a new tarot dad. There will never be another tarot dad, El. Sorry. Okay. So moving on from fires and mishaps in general, loss of life in your building. Do you connect with any ghosts? No, Butterfly. I mean, we have done a Ouija board here. Becca, Kelly and I did one here, but nobody from the building came through. So no, it's not something I really do as part of a spiritual practice or anything. So Channel shout out. I want to shout out. It's not a new channel, but it's kind of new to me. And I think over the last few months, she's been putting more content out there. And I discovered her because she did a VR to my hashtag, my 2020 vision. And it's Elaine Murphy. And I saw it this morning, and then I ended up going down a bit of a rabbit hole and binge watching some of her videos. And she did a lovely walkthrough of the new Choice Tarot de Marseille. And yeah, she's a joy. She's a British lady. I think she's about to change her channel name, but at the moment it is still Elaine Murphy. There is a link in the bio below if you're watching this back. Just click on the link. Oh, and Jen's put a link in now into the chat, so do click on and give her a sub. She's lovely. She's a retired school teacher, and she's got a great grasp and understanding of the tarot. She's been working with the tarot for over 30 years. And she's got a bit like Sandra from Sandra and Tarot, very calming voice, very lovely approach. And it was really nice for Saturday morning to lay in bed with a mug of coffee and just listen to her. And when she did the 2020 vision, I loved her interpretation of the cards. So do check her out, Elaine Murphy. What else was I going to say? Wow, there's over 100 people here. Nice to see everybody. What I wanted to do today as well is I was going to say the response, but it's my tag. I do it every year. I do my top 5 decks of that year. I cheated a bit in 2018 because I said in 2017 I did top 5, those top 5 decks. 2018 I said these are decks that I've acquired in 2018, but this year I want to try and just do decks that were released in 2018, my top 5 favorite decks. And yeah, if you do need to catch my attention, because I'm terrible at looking at chat, do as Billy's done and put at the Hermit's Cave or capitals, and I'll try and keep looking. There might be some Oracle and Tarot coming to my channel next year because I'm not up to putting craft up now in the whole copper thing. Eek. Yeah. And I've had, as I'm sure many content creators have had, lots of questions about copper. And I don't want to get into a whole copper thing or debate, but this is the way I'm approaching copper. I have set all my videos to not for children. Okay, that is the onus that's on us as content creators to say whether your content is for children or not. Yes, there will be bots and everything else check in, because if you are for children, you can't have chat. So I get what they're thinking. They think they're going to think, aren't they? Well, maybe content creators are going to say that they're not for children, so that they can have chat, but really they are for children, and then that could be a bit of a grey area for them. So I get why those bots will check. However, we will get the opportunity, if we get a strike, to respond. Just like if we get a copyright strike. I've had one in 3 years where it said your video has been flagged up as breaching copyright, and it gave me some options. Take down your video, allow us to mute a section of it, or I can't remember what the other one was. And I went with an option and all was good. Then there's the whole channels are going to be shut down if they're not commercially viable. YouTube is a broadcasting platform. Okay, that's all we have to do. What they will look at is people that are using YouTube to upload all your home movies, free storage space, and set all your videos to private. that doesn't make you commercially viable for them. YouTube is a business at the end of the day. If most of your content is public and people can see it, there's not going to be an issue. Seriously. And then I heard one that they're going to shut down pagans. It's ridiculous. That is discriminatory practice, and they're not going to do that. So all I would say is, if you're a content creator, you have a choice whether you want to be for children or not for children. Set your videos accordingly. You'll be fine. I know how much it costs for court time. Okay. Nobody is going to take a channel to court for £42,000 fines or something because they used a bright colour in the background, or they did a piece of artwork that that could be for children. It's not gonna happen. And there was this kind of fear 4 or 5 years ago when they updated their terms of service about copyright. You know, people were saying, well, we're never going to be able to show tarot decks anymore. We're not going to be able to show cards because we'll get done for copyright, blah, 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 blah. Deck creators send us decks. And so let's just breathe a bit. Let's see how we go as we go into the new year. YouTube aren't going to want everybody going mass migrating to other social media platforms. So they're covering their backs because of high profile cases and big payouts. It's natural. So I wouldn't worry too much. Hello, Kay. Good to see you. Elizabeth lives on the 14th floor. Thank you, Pat. That's good of you to say. Oh, I realised that I hadn't scrolled down. I'm definitely not for children. I'm not sure why that's been hidden, but I was terrified the other day. I thought Facebook had been shut down. It's completely blank. Turns out I don't update. Thanks for that. No worries, Billy. I understand everybody's concerns. And when I first started hearing about it, I saw these clickbait ones that big channels are doing, and I was like, oh my God, the bubble's bursting. The honeymoon period is finally over. I don't believe that now. I really don't. So I think we'll be fine. And if we're not, then there'll be another alternative. So Jack says they could make common words that they will. That's what bots will do. They'll look for certain things, won't they? But they'll look and they'll flag something. That's the worst that's going to happen. We're going to be flagged for something. You know, I've got nearly 800 videos on my channel. Something's going to flag up and I'll respond accordingly. You know, I'll look at it case by case and decide what to do. I'm concerned about deck walkthroughs, but if you have set your, sorry, I should read the whole comment to give it some context for people watching back. Jen says, I'm concerned about deck walkthroughs for things like The Last Unicorn and others that were inspired by children's movies. I get it, but if you are saying on your channel, this is not for children, what court would fine you when you say, actually, it's a tarot deck and it's not intended. This is not intended for children. I'm an adult content creator. We will be able to justify it. Yes, Kelly Bear. But if you list your videos as not for children and age restricted, children won't even be able to see it. Yes. You can also scan your channel if you are using the beta version. Okay. So there we go. So I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but anyway, my top 5 2019 decks is the hashtag. If people want to do theirs, great. But I thought I would show mine. And do join in, you know, tell me what you think to each of these decks. You're probably not surprised with a lot of them. But some might come as a surprise. So the first one I'm going to show, I had to look because I was thinking, oh, is this 2018 or 2019? And the Kickstarter and everything was 2018, but it was released in 2019, but right at the very beginning of this year. And it is the Dark Mansion Tarot. So this is in 5th place for me. I do have 2 versions. I have this version and I have the standard version, because I wanted to kind of keep this one pristine. This is the one that comes obviously in the wooden box, but this lovely bag as well. You get a certificate of authenticity from Tarotica Studio. So that's the certificate of authenticity. So decks from 2019 or decks that are your top. I mean, it's up to you how you do it, but what I'm going to do is the decks that were released in 2019. These are the backs. It is that lovely matte rose petal finish. And a lot of people thought that because it was going to be in this set, there'd be huge giant cards. Who was it? Oh, it was Kelly Bear. When you came in the summer, I remember you saying, oh, they're not that big really. You know, they're just like a large tarot card, but not huge. So yeah, I do love this deck. I think it is one of the most beautiful decks. I love the dusted kind of gold gilding on the edge. It has those little, probably not show on this, but it has those little sparkles in it, which is really nice. But the cards just feel lovely together. This one is in order because, as I said, the other version that I've got, let me just show you actually in case you're thinking, what other version? It's the one that comes in the clam shell. They're all jumbled up because I've used it numerous times. What's the pendant you're wearing? It looks amazing. It's malachite pendant on leather, which was sent to me. And look, there's no glare or anything because it's that beautiful rose petal. A lot of people compare it to the Tim Burton, and I can see why. Yes, Tim Burton. I was going to say not Tim Burton, but it is Tim Burton. Don't think I'd like it for a while either, Donna, but in person it's really beautiful. I feel like such an outsider for not liking the Dark Mansion. Yeah, well, there was that whole thing last year because I did a video, a live at New Year. I think it was New Year's Day, going on about how I'm not going to get this deck because I almost spent £135 just like that, and I knew it was FOMO because everybody was going on about it. And then I watched a full walkthrough of it, and I just thought, actually, I can see what the hype is about. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm really glad that I got it. And when I bought it, I loved it. It's not the easiest to shuffle because of the stock and the size and everything. I thought I'm going to get, because I very often get backup versions of some of my favorite decks anyway. So I thought I'm going to get let's give it a bit more light, another version. I thought, well, I only need a bog standard that can get scuffed, that can get used. How do you find the rose petal cards for shuffling? The feel and look is amazing, but I find they clump together. Now, it depends on the size for me, because I do find this one, larger ones, can be a bit cumbersome. But then decks like my Roots and Wings Oracle, I don't have a problem at all because they're more of a standard size. So for me, it's size coupled with cardstock. I'm not really into it either, says L. Or Kelly Bear. Mass market from Schiffer. This has gone via Schiffer. Oh, wow. I wasn't even aware of that. I love the death card. Look at the death card. Isn't that great? And Temperance is beautiful. They are stunning. I'll just show the majors. I've never wanted this one either, says Becca. Robin says the Dark Mansion illustrations remind me of the series of Unfortunate Events books by Daniel Handler. Oh, we're talking about the Shadowland Tarot that you prefer over the Dark Mansion. There's a couple of moons. There's this one for the moon, or there's this one which I prefer. Really love this one. And same with the sun. There is this one, which is my preference, or this one. Then we have Judgment. This Might Hurt arrived today. You was hoping it would. That's great, Becca. So that is my number 5. What's everybody else's? If you were doing a top 5, what would be your number 5? Probably a bit difficult to answer that unless you've actually sat and thought about it, really. Shouldn't put you on the spot. So it sounded like not a lot of people in the chat are a huge fan of the Dark Mansion Tarot. But yeah, there's just something about it that I really like. And to say I really didn't want it, it's turned out to be one of my favorite purchases of the year. I don't even own 5 decks yet. You don't need to, though, do you? You don't need to. I'm a huge fan, but it is spendy. Yeah. Okay. So that is number 5. Well, that will make this tag easy. I've still got that vile taste of coffee in my mouth. Number 4. Now it's a Rider-Waite Smith. Go figure. There's going to be one in here, isn't there? And it was a toss-up between this tarot and the Radiant Wise, which was also released this year, which I love. I don't love it. It's too bright now. I don't love it as much as the Pamela Coleman Smith original iteration of that deck, but I still love it. And I'm glad that it's available in those tones, yeah, because we lost it, didn't we, the year previously. Falling over from surprise, not. I feel like a stuck record. But do you know which one it is? Which RWS deck that I bought this year has made it into my top 5? The holographic is so unique, I can't think of any other decks. One interesting thing is this VR will be decks, so could be tarot, oracle. Yeah, I was going to put tarot in the title, but I thought, like we just heard earlier, not everybody might have 5 tarot decks, so it's up to you however you want to play it. Zombie Royal Fez. No, because Royal Fez wasn't released in 2019. Grand Lux. Siren Imports, says Robin. No, it's the CS Tarot. The Conrad Stein Tarot is my favorite 2019 RWS deck. And it was a difficult decision between this and the Radiant Wise Spirit. Are these cards the same size as Untrimmed Druid Craft? You mean the Dark Mansion? Yes, I would say around that size, actually. Yeah. this deck has these beautiful crackle backs, which is a photograph of Amber. It's got Pixie's signature. I edged it to match. I think, Becca, did I give you the pen as well to do yours like this? This was sent to me. It has a lovely linen cardstock. I like the cleaned up images. They do have this kind of crackle back as well, but they just feel really, really nice. And Conrad did such an amazing job with this deck. And I keep saying Conrad Stein, and it's Conrad Stein. So I do apologize, Conrad, if you watch this. But yeah, I love this deck. Really beautiful. Do you remember what pen you used to edge it? I'm writing a review of the CS Tarot and would like to give recommendations. I have the prototype of CS and love it. Yeah, this is the prototype as well. Can you remember the name? Because I passed it to you, didn't I? Was it something like Honey something, or I can't remember off the top of my head, but look at the colours. Really, really lovely. Yes, Diane says the CS Tarot feels great in the hands. It really does. And it's not a heavy linen stock, you know, heavier where you can actually feel the grain as much, like perhaps in Pagan Otherworlds, but the quality is there. It's kind of like the same quality as Deck of the Bastard. It's probably what I would liken it to. I have the pen, just a second. There you go. We're going to find out, Mary, exactly what the name of the pen is. And they are bordered, but it's a nice continuation of the colour. And with the edging that I did, it just finishes it off really lovely. Another deck added to the wish list. I meant to do this a while ago, so thanks for the reminder. Oh, good. Really nice. So yeah, and there are some imperfections that he felt, I didn't even spot them, that he felt was in this deck. So the one that's available now is even more improved. It felt like some of the there was a bit of saturation in some of the skin tones and things like that. But I mean, look at the Queen of Wands. Look at her background. How beautiful. Where can I get this deck? This just might be an RW I like. If any mods in the room can find a link to the CS Tarot and drop it in for Billy, that would be great. Hey, Connor. Good to see you. Hope the studies are going well. Oh, look. Gorgeous. And the crackle backgrounds aren't intrusive. Do you know what I mean? They're just, it's really nice. And as I said, Becca got one and Kelly had a look at it. Kelly was offered one as well. Because of depth here, she decided to decline. But when she came here and had a look at it, she dropped him an email just saying, well done, you've created a really beautiful deck. So yeah, so that's my number 4. Winsor Newton Pro Marker Caramel. What did I say? Caramel? No, I said honey. I knew it was something that you ate. What's that? Do the UK have an equivalent to mate playing cards? I don't think they do, Karen. I think it's mate playing cards, or what's the other one that's really popular? Game Crafter. We just have to get from there. So that is a number, yes, Game Crafter. Thank you, Karen. So that's number 4. Number 3, quite a recent one that I adore, absolutely adore. And to my disappointment in myself and to my shame, I haven't used this. as much as I should have done, but we've got all next year. And it is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and this is by Lunia Weatherstone, and the illustrations are by Marilla Allwood. Marilla, I think, that's how you pronounce it. And Lunia is lovely. She commented on my walkthrough, and she addressed some of the points that I made about switching some of the titles, and she said, I take full responsibility. And yeah, really, really nice that she oh my god, I had a little brain fart just now. I looked at my tag in the title and thought it said my top 52,019 decks. We're going to be here a long time, Connor. Forget your studies tonight, lad. So, as I've mentioned, this deck, the book is by Llewellyn. They do the lovely books and boxes. Really, really beautiful. I love the fact that the hair, oh dear. Our full card, which is the white heart, when I get to it, I love the fact that you really get that sense of his journey going into the woods. This is from the world card where he comes out of the woods at the other end, but you really get that you're going on that journey with the white heart. I don't think the cardstock is too bad for this. I have seen worse from Llewellyn, namely the Wonderland Tarot. That was appalling. 52 would be mine. 52 would be mine. I'm not sure, but yes, there's the white heart, who's our fool, just about to take us into the enchanted forest. It's borderless. The images are beautiful. I mean, look at that for a high priestess. And the Mother Earth, she's Gaia. And the little hair. The Forest Lord with his oak and holly horns, representing both the Oak King and the Holly King. That's what I call the face of Bow. Simon, can you show your edging? I missed it. If you did. Oh, you mean on the other tarot? Yes, remind me at the end of this one and I'll go back and I'll show it. The Lovers is so beautiful. Connor says, I know Simon's collection is impressive, but 52,000 is excessive, I think. Yeah. Fast forward another 30 years, I'll be sat here as an 80-year-old. Who knows, in 30 years and all, I might actually be sat in all of your front rooms. We might have got to that point where we're like a hologram, and I'm just sat there doing Cuppa catch-up, having an actual Cuppa with you in your front rooms, and we're chewing the fat over some gorgeous new deck. I just hope this still exists in card form, and we've not gone completely computerized, and tarot only exists in the app world or whatever it'll be in 30 years. Yeah, so it's not this isn't a criticism, because I do love animal decks, but I have enough animal decks, I think. But this is, we've got Black Shuck. Sandra tells an amazing story about her father's interaction with Black Shuck on her walkthrough with this deck. But it's all forest folk, you know, animal kin as well as humans. So it's got a really good balance. You would look like the face of Bo peeping out behind all of the... All right, Billy, I'd only be 80. Face of Bo was thousands of years old. We've got a troll, guys. If somebody could hammer, don't click on my account. Don't click on their account, by the way, just hammer them. Thank you. I love that card. Isn't that beautiful? for the moon. Oh, that looks like little lunar moon here skipping merrily along. Oh, we've got some racists in. I love that. The Council of Animals. And then we have the white heart at the end of the journey through the major arcana, coming out of the forest at the other end. Not saying you'd look old, just I'm only pulling your leg, Billy. 444. I've got to show my feet, Becca. You wanted me to show my feet? Just let me know. I'd be happy to oblige. Face of Bo Peep. So that is my number 3. So we're now going down, and as everybody else got this deck, I know Dan had it recently. Epine de Vale showed it on his channel quite recently. He's got it. Oh, and a reminder: next Saturday I'll be doing an interview with Dan. This time next week. So that's number 3. Hey, Lucien. Hi, Lucien. I've just seen Elle say hello to you. I got this deck and I like it very much, better than I thought I would. Yeah, I took a punt on it. I saw some cards. I thought, actually, that's really nice. So I got it. And I just like you, Jen, enjoyed it so much more than I thought. I love the theme of the journey through the forest. I have it and I love, love, love it, says Donna. On the Fence for Sean. Dragonfly has it. Love the art, but don't have it, says Karen. What is 444? Forever Where I did a live at Becca's house on Becca's channel, and somebody hooked her video, her live stream up to Chatterbait, and we was inundated because we were streaming live on Chatterbait. And if you put 444 in, apparently it's to use some credits, some coins, to get us to do things of a technical nature. So, hey, Brian. Papa Squirrel's here. Oh, there's Dan. Epine de Vale. This deck is amazing. I edge mine in green and brown and almost just typed breed. Yeah. I often do that where you want to say 2 words and shorten it and make up a completely new word. The book that's with it is awesome. It's one of the best companion books. Really is. It's fantastic. A porn site. Yes, Chatterbait. I mean, we're talking about 2 words pushed together to make one. Breen, Chatterbait. I'm sure you can work out what 2 words have been pushed together to form that little gem. I don't know if that makes us right or selective, LP. I'm not sure what you're going on about now. So top 2. My number 2 spot, which is in a blingy, sexy Kelly pouch. I'm sure the top 2 are no surprise to people who know me well. But in second place is the Light Seers Tarot, which came at the beginning of October. So I've had it a couple of months now. First saw it on Jen's Balanced Tarot's channel. And then I saw it on Lisa from Supportive Tarot whilst I was at Becca's. And I was like, oh, this is that deck again. And I was like, oh, it's amazing. No. Ignore me. Ignore me. Just, I'd edit this out if I wasn't live. I'm getting mixed up. This deck I saw back in, I want to say June, July time on Kelly at the Truth in Stories channel. And I'd completely missed the Kickstarter campaign, completely passed me by, wasn't even aware of it, saw this walkthrough, mouth agape, and I was like, I love every image. I haven't seen a card yet that I'm not like, wow, that really encompasses the energy of that archetype. I think it's beautiful, everything about it. As you'll know, they've just released the mass market edition by Hay House. Lots of issues with people, lots of issues from people who have received the deck where they're saying they're creased, they've got bends in them, they're not cut very nice, which is a shame. And also the card stock isn't anything like this card stock, which is matte and thick. It's just beautiful. So I did get it at the beginning of October. That bit I got right, and I took it to Oxford when I went to Becca's, and got everybody to have a look at it there, like Becca and Elle and Sandra and Debbie. And it really is gorgeous. It has these little, almost like handwritten titles on them, fully borderless. One of my favorite, now I do like rose petal cardstock, such as the Dark Mansion, which I showed earlier, but this kind of cardstock, which is the same as like the New Choice Tarot de Marseille, is luscious. It is beautiful, and I think for me it just pips the rose petal. Rose petal, when it first come out, first time I saw it was on Luminous Void, which came out just before Dark Mansion. So the first time I saw it actually was on the prototype cards for Dark Mansion, but it wasn't available then. And I remember thinking, wow, that is incredible. And speaking to Arthur at the time, he was saying to me, I need to get this deck out because other people are going to start having this card stock, which they did. And it was quite novel. But this card stock is just the dog's bollocks. Where's all your indie versions for sale? No one wants to give it up. And I can see why nobody wants to give this up. I really can. And yeah, there's the whole thing in here about, you know, Ten of Swords. I've come to a really good place with the Ten of Swords replacement, knowing the journey that she went on, and I'm happy with it. Yes, obviously, if someone said to me, I'm happy to swap, or I'll send you my original Ten of Swords, I would accept it, because there's something in me that really wanted the original, and I thought the image was so powerful, so powerful, and I didn't see it the same way as other people, and that doesn't make me right, other people wrong, or other people right and me wrong. It's just the way we see things. Gorgeous King of Wands. Let's just, I mean, King of Wands, and what was it, Knight of Swords that I got you to look at last night, Becca. And then there's that Devil card, isn't there? But it's just a beautiful. How's the card stock, Simon? Lucien, that's what I was saying. It is amazing, but this is the indie version, not the mass. So if you're thinking, you know, how's my card stock, because you've heard all the horror stories from everybody, this is just a dream, an absolute dream. The guys in the deck are so hot, and the women are absolutely beautiful. I got this, it's on a stand up here, but I got this postcard as well. Look at her. She is absolutely beautiful. And it's the top card at the minute. That's weird. But yeah, trying to find, look at the Death and Rebirth. Amazing. This would be my #1 deck, says Selkie. Here's the Devil, the handsome Devil. I mean, all of us would be tempted, right? Love the Strength card with the little lamb, the lamb and the lion. Hermit, incredible, sitting on the edge. That's how I see the Hermit as well. That's when I go into Hermit mode as well. There's nothing I love more. It reminds me of my favorite soul card from Soul Cards 2. Beautiful Lovers card. I'll be unpopular in my opinion, but the Devil card, dude, gives me the EBGBs, says Jamie. Do you think that's because you know that it's the Devil card? This is the Ten of Swords I was talking about, which I think is so beautiful. Simple and beautiful. We've got age diversity, but again, a very handsome chap. Here's the Knight of Cups. It's the Knight of Cups, not Knight of Swords. I mean, he's a dude, isn't he? Arriving on his stallion, red roses for you. So romantic. Oh, Brian, Poppy Squirrel, I was trying to find the card that you mentioned to me last night, and I can't find it at first glance. I've just been through them all, but anyway, I'll have a look at the end because that was a really emotive image as well that you mentioned. Now him, the knight, I like. Romeo, yes, very much. King of Wands, where's that hung cat? That was the one I showed first. So, number 1, my favorite deck of 2019, also in a Kelly bag. No surprise to anybody, I'm sure. It's the This Might Hurt Tarot. And I would go as far as to say, oh, just look at that. Oh, I would go as far as to say that and if you've seen my video from yesterday, which is my number 1 deck, which is my Blushing Fool, had this place gone up last night when my altar caught fire and I just had to grab a deck, I would have just ran for this box and I'd have gone, because this has got my blushing Fool in. Because I can't be without it. I can't be without it. But I would go as far as to say that this is my second favorite tarot deck next to the Blushing Fool. Mine is in a Kelly bag too. Oh, This Might Hurt. Brilliant. I just love this deck. Again, it has that same card stock that the Light Seers has and New Choice Tarot de Marseille. Does Kelly have an Etsy shop? She does. She's got no bags on it at the moment, but if somebody could post a link to Kelly's shop, just keep checking back, but you have to be quick, because as soon as she puts them up, she puts about 5 or 6 up at a time, they just fly out. Yeah, they're quite sought after. The Hermit. These are the backs. And, you know, I hope this gets picked up, because this deck should be mass produced. It's incredible. Look at the Death card. Some people don't like the fact it's a little bit cartoony, but I wouldn't say cartoon. I suppose it's animation. Well, it can't be animation because that indicates moving, but it's just the art style, you know. Oh, and the Devil. We have Baphomet as the Devil. Thank you, Elle, for putting the link. I was expecting Deck of the Bastard. Donna, it's 2019 decks. I'm only doing decks that have been released in 2019. Oh, you mean as my second? Yes, I'm with you. Probably would have been until this beauty was released. I think it deserves to be in more hands. Yeah, I do. I really do. And it's quite pagan, look. It's wonderful. Have you noticed the Ace of Pentacles is missing the one at the top? We've got Anubis as well. I love the World card. Ace of Pentacles. I hadn't noticed. I've got to try and find it now. Oh, yes. It doesn't even have the cut down, does it? But it's the Ace of Pentacles. And I love, there's something wrong with me, but I love it when there's imperfections in things. I can remember Arthur Wang emailing me to say, oh, I've sent you the I want to say Darkness of Light, and it's not the True Black Tarot. He said, I've sent you the deck, but there's a misspelling in the hierophant. Would you like me to send you a replacement card? I was like, no. I think it's brilliant. There's a misspelling in there. I just love that. Oh, look at how the Lovers of the Two of Cups. Beautiful. I love that version of the Four. Jen, did you show that when you had the Four of Cups 2 weeks ago in your tarot play date? Because that's almost like from a different perspective. I can't remember if you showed it now or not. But the colours are dreamy. I mean, look at the skies. Isabella is collecting that for the second edition, so it will definitely be something that will identify the first edition. Correcting that, sorry, not collecting. Yeah. I've heard there's a second edition coming out. Just beautiful. Oh, that Queen of Cups. And I love the King of Cups in his little rowboat. Simon, what does the Death card and Devil card look like? Bear with. So I did show the Death when I talked about it being cartoony. That's the Death card. And the Devil card, remembers when I said it was Baphomet. No, I didn't. I don't think that one came up. Check in. So, yeah. And I mean, also, the gilding. It comes in two versions, but I think the gold version is going. So if you did want, and I don't know anybody who's bought the gold version, probably why it's going, because these holographic black sides are just everything. I think there's going to be a pearlescent one, as well as this, and the gold gilding is going to be no more on the second edition. Jamie says they are coming out of a pearl. Yes, that's what I heard, a pearlescent kind of, which would be nice. If you are in the UK, it is available from Little Red Tarot. When she showed this edging during the Kickstarter campaign, I was a little nervous, but it turned out stunning. Why was you nervous, Jen? And Becca and I have ordered a deck from China called the Wheel of Fortune Tarot, which also has this holographic edging. I'm such a holosexual, says Bruin. I think we all are holosexuals. We like a little, it's the same as when, excuse me, the Marshmallow Marseille came out with those backs. Everybody was like, ooh. I thought it looked really dark in the pictures. Do you have the Star Tarot by Kathy? Yes, I do have the Star Tarot. I trimmed it right down though. In fact, I don't even think I've kept it in the box anymore. No, I think I put them into a little pouch. That's the problem now. I've got so many. If I want to move a deck or grab a deck, it's like I have to rearrange everything just to get to it. Hollow gliding rocks, and these are some epic decks we'll talk about in years to future. I'm glad I was mistaken also. It's so perfect for the deck, I feel now. I agree. Oh, my magpies are here. I've never even shuffled a deck with gilding. I've never even shuffled a deck with gilding. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a riffle shuffler anyway, but if I was, I don't think I would riffle with these kind of decks. I think I would just do hand over hand. My birthday is 12/11. 12/11. So that's December 11th. Well, happy birthday for 4 days' time. I always have to, you know, when American dates are put in, I'm like 12/11. It's gone. You're welcome, Kim, Carolyn. Riffle with that deck is a little bit tricky for sure. Have you done it, Brian? I wouldn't dare do it. I have used this deck to death since I've had it. Again, I've had it for about a month, maybe a little bit longer now. And I've used it to death, and there is no chipping at all, because I was like, oh, if anything happens to this, or, you know, but there isn't any chipping at all. It's just great. And listen to it, just like New Choice. If you like ASMR, oh, dreamy. We can't be great at everything. So I just saw a cover pick for the Star Tarot, say due out May 2020. Oh, I wonder if they're going to go borderless or something then. Don't stop. I feel like we will get the chatterbaiters in. I need to stop. Oh dear. So yeah, so that is my top 5 tarot decks of 2019. Hashtag my top 5 2019 decks. Should put a little B on it, look, because this might hurt. So in 5th place, it was the Dark Mansion Tarot. In 4th place, it was the Conrad Stein or CS Tarot. In 3rd place, it was Forest of Enchantment. In 2nd place, it's Light Seers. And in 1st place, my favourite deck of the year is This Might Hurt Tarot. Okay, so it's 5:15. Time goes so quick on a Saturday. Is there anything else before we wrap up? It's 120 people in. Wow. Hello, everybody joining us. Is there anything before I wrap up that anybody wants to ask or discuss? I've tried to keep it succinct to this. I know we've gone down a few rabbit holes with copper and fires and other such calamities, but now we've got a little bit of time at the end. If there's anything anybody wants to ask. Only if Simon shuffles the cards with his feet. I don't even think I could manage that. Shuffling way fast live. I know, it just flies. The birds are so pretty. Tammy Pie, the birds are so pretty. Don't forget to hit that like button. You're so kind with your encouragement. How will things look for me in 2020? Kim, I'm not doing readings today. This is just a Cuppa catch up. It's just a chat. But if you want to inquire about readings, I've got a website, thehermitscave.co.uk, and you can contact me through there if you wish. Thank you, Abundance Tarot. Sorry, weird bird lady here. But where are the birds? Was it in one of the cards? Lynn says, my 79th birthday is the 10th. Could someone please tell me how I can get the Forest of Enchantment when I don't even have the money to pay bills this month? Oh. Add it to your wish list. Christmas is coming. You never know. I made the mistake going on to my Amazon wish list earlier. Normally there's that much on there. I don't know when things will come off because I always send it to family and stuff. And I noticed one deck that's disappeared. So I'm like, oh. So I know one deck that I'm getting for Christmas. Can we do random questions? Plans for the holidays? Yeah, plans for the holidays. So let me tell you what's happening on the channel. So as you know, I've paused Throwback Thursday until January. Next Saturday, I'm interviewing Dan from Epine de Vale. So next Saturday at 4 is Catching Up With, and it's with Dan. The Saturday after, so 2 weeks today, which is the last one before Christmas, is the Christmas Cuppa Catch Up and Cards, where I'll be joined by Jennifer Ball. It's tradition. Christmas for me is about traditions and sticking with those traditions. And this will be the 3rd year Jen's doing the Cuppa Catch Up and Cards Christmas special with me. There will be a giveaway. There will be quizzes and games. We're just in the very early stages of discussing, but that will be 2 weeks today. And that's why I've done my 2019 decks now, because next week's an interview and the week after is that. So this is the last Cuppa Catch Up and Cards of the year, really. Because of the Christmas stuff. So, and then I go away Christmas Eve and come back the day after Boxing Day. I go to the family home and we have a big family Christmas and all that jazz. I know Becca is doing a late night Christmas Day chat for late night for the UK, 9 o'clock, when she's back home from her family, just because there are people in the community who won't be doing family stuff and will be on their own. So she's doing a chat Christmas Day night. If my parents have gone to bed, because sometimes they get to bed around 9 because it's a long day, then I'll try and jump in as well and say hello to everybody on Christmas Day on Becca's channel. What was that? That day was unbelievable. What day was unbelievable? The day will live on in infamy. What? Because the Chatterbait, Chatterbait, yeah. That was, you know, whoever did that, we would just say thank you, because I think they did it to be malicious, but actually the mileage that we've got out of it, the jokes that we've got out of it, actually was brilliant. Oh yes, and Papa Squirrel. We need to, I want you to go on Glide. Please go on Glide. It is so much easier to talk and video and message rather than typing. But Papa Squirrel is coming to the UK next year. So, and we're going to try and hook up. So I just need to speak to him about the dates and when that's going to be. We've also got our Tarothon. Well, we will have Tarothon, but that's not what I'm talking about. Our Tarot UK meetup. In Glastonbury, first weekend, I've booked an extra night and I've managed to get a room in the Georgian Pilgrim, which is a dream. So I'm going to be there Friday to Monday, but it's the Saturday and Sunday at the meetup. But it just gives me time not to have to drive 140 miles or whatever it is. It's 3.5 hours drive anyway, either end of a busy day. So I'll arrive Friday afternoon, check in, be there for the weekend, and then leave Monday morning after everybody goes on the Sunday. So Brian, I don't know if that's around your dates, but that's the first weekend in August. 2 of my favorite humans in one place at one time. Tarathon 2020, Celia is asking. Yeah, and can you believe, I think it's because right now, Tarathon France is happening, and it's their second year too. And they're so sweet. They each year say to always contact me saying, do you mind if we do it? And I'm like, absolutely not, you know. Just because I came up with the word and the concept doesn't mean I own it. It's not trademarked or anything, but it was really sweet that they did that. But this year they asked me for a well wish or a statement. So they converted it into French for me because sadly I don't speak French, and they put it onto a poster for their advertising. And I went in today into Christine and Celeste and just put a message in French saying all the very best for your event. But I've had loads of messages just recently about, are you doing Tarathon next year? And I don't start thinking about Tarathon until the new year. And this year's Tarathon was so stressful. And had you asked me July, August time if I was doing Tarathon, it would have been a probably not. But you know, time is a great healer and everything else. And there probably will be a Tarathon. And there's been a few people asking me if they can take part in Tarathon next year. And the only criteria is you please be comfortable with doing lives, because the idea is we have solid 24 hours without, you know, any sort of interruptions. That's the plan. Didn't go to plan last year, but so Tarathon will happen. It's early summer, usually around June, July time, depending when I can get time off work, because I like to support the whole 24 hours. And we always, I say we have last year, and it's only fair we do it again, give those who took part last year the first refusal. So there is a group. So we say, who wants to take part again this year? If they don't, it's absolutely fine. There's no obligation to, but then that determines how many places we have available to fill. And I've already started getting a list. I know Maha from Maha's Treasure Box wants to be a part of it this year, as does Donna and Marsha and people like that. So I'm pulling a list together. Around February, March time, we will start to find out who wants to take part, and then look at where people are geographically around the globe and what times people could take. And then probably April, May, we'll start to do advertising and getting people's subjects in. So yes, Tarathon will happen. UK Tarot meetup will happen. People have already booked accommodation and hotels and flights. I don't know if Jen's already said that, or if I've just now I've said your name. But yes, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying, but Jen is confirmed as coming. So this year we had Sarah, who came all the way from Australia, and I don't know how much I can say, but there's also somebody else coming from Australia confirmed this year next year, I should say. So just because it's called the UK Tarot Meetup doesn't mean it's just for UK tarot people. It means it's happening in the UK. If you can get to Glastonbury for the first weekend in August, you're more than welcome to join us, and it'll be lovely to see as many people as possible. Time heals and wounds, and time wounds all heals. That's nice, Caroline. I'll have to remember that. Yay to Tarathon returning. Hopefully no YouTube crash this year. Yes, last year we broke YouTube. We was 10 hours in. It was Tangi's slot, right at the end of Tangi's slot, and it broke. But we went to Facebook. We'll have a plan B this year. We won't be caught out, and we'll announce that should YouTube go down, this is where you'll find us until YouTube comes back up, and then we'll pick up again like we did last year. If I could afford it, I would be so there in Glastonbury. I am very heavy with the exclamation marks today. I'm excitable this Saturday morning. You've got a lot to be excited about, Jen, haven't you? Great series on YouTube every Sunday. Plans for coming to the UK and everything else. So Simon, we made it through Tarathon. It was great. Yeah, Caroline and I, both years running, did the full 24 hours. And it goes really fast. The first year, about 4 a.m., I was kind of like, dear, oh dear. But this year, I don't know, I was buzzing with everything that was happening. I think the crashes and everything else, that 24 hours just flew by. Right, so let's pull a card. I've got out my light seers, so we'll do that because we're nearly coming up to the hour-and-a-half mark. I'm just scared to death. Yes, Donna, I know you're planning on coming over. Are you planning on being here for the UK Tarot meetup too? I know you said you want to come to Nottingham, which always warms my heart when people say, I'm coming to the UK and I want to come to Nottingham. Don't be scared of driving on the other side. I get it, because I drove on the wrong side of the road in America. But your brain just kind of switches. I'm sure Jen will testify to that. It's not too bad if you stay out of the city. I'm going to see if I can take trains this time. That could be expensive. British Rail is really expensive. And Glastonbury. Mind you, you're going to be around the London area this time, aren't you? So you're not going that far and wide, I don't think. Dan says Nottingham is amazing, but Manchester is better. No, it's not. It's not at all. You all talk funny. Simon, you still need to visit me in Manchester. I'm waiting for an invite. I never turn up anywhere uninvited. I need an invite. This boy has wheels. We'll travel. Once I got out of London, it was better. I can't drive in London. I have years ago, but, and the congestion tax and all that sort of stuff. Oh, dropping. Jen, it's because I'm talking to you. It's because I'm responding to your message that I'm absorbing your dropsy energy. Oxfordshire is nice. Oxfordshire is beautiful. And I really enjoyed our day in Oxford. And when I come again, Becca, we'll have to go back into Oxford. So I really enjoyed that. All of you guys have an open invite to my home city. It's no to write home about. It's grim up north. Not like here in the Midlands. No, Manchester's a really nice city, actually. It's a really nice city. Just don't get Salford. Right. Message for the week. Split them. Oh, we have the Six of Wands. Look at her taking the limelight, because the Six of Wands is about our trials and tribulations. We have to sometimes endure the trials and tribulations to be able to reap the rewards. And the Six of Wands coming to us at this time is saying, you might be going through it at the moment. You might feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall. You might feel like everything is on top of you, but it's shaping you and preparing you for what is to come. It's getting you stronger. And good times are ahead. Success is ahead. But we sometimes have to go through those darkest hours before we're hit by the bright light of the new day and the new dawn. Six of Wands always reminds me of an old Buddhist story I heard many years ago about the Buddha told one of his disciples to go out and move a giant rock. There's a huge giant rock, and he said, I need you to move it for me out of the way. And he was like, well, I can't. I can't. And he said, I need you to. So every day he would get up and he'd push and push and push against this rock, and he was going home aching and sore and in so much pain and getting cramps. And every day he pushed and he pushed. Of course, he couldn't move the rock. It was impossible to move the rock. But what did happen was the Buddha saw that his health was failing, he wasn't looking after himself, and actually he became stronger as a result. But if the Buddha had said to him, you need to look after your health, he probably wouldn't have done it. So we don't always see the end result, or why we're doing what we're doing, or why we're suffering what it is we're suffering at the moment. But the trials, the tribulations can feel like we're pushing against a huge rock and we're not getting anywhere. But what it's actually doing is strengthening us for the next part of our journey. So success is coming, fulfillment is coming, dreams are coming true. Just ride it out, ride the storm, and you will enjoy the spoils of your labor. All right, guys. Thank you for being here today. I'll just have a quick look, see if there's any final comments. Party at Dan's, I'm bringing champagne, says Lucien. Wow, that feels so spot on at the minute. Good, Billy. I'm really pleased it resonated for you. There are better places around the UK for food. Nottingham's got. Oh, I got, you know, you get those Facebook things. Have you been to so-and-so recently? Like, no, I might have walked past it. It says, have you been to the Mushy Pea stall in Victoria Centre recently? And I was like, there's a Mushy Pea stall in Victoria Centre. It only came up today. I'm on a mission. I have to find it. Who knew? A Mushy Pea stall in Victoria Centre. Great story, gave me goosebumps. That was deep. That was deep. Don't get deep, Dolly. Thank you, Simon. Take care. All that was spot on for me. Oh, I've gone backwards again. I was so tired when I woke up this morning after a crazy work week. This perked me right up. Oh, good, good. Hope you have a restful weekend, Jen. I know from our talks that you work really hard and you have a lot to deal with at work and stuff. So I hope you have a nice, relaxing and restful weekend. Thank you, everybody. I've been in the UK for 14 years now and I still don't do Marmite. Can't call yourself an Anglophile until you've had Marmite. Even Jen's had Marmite. Not sure she'd have it again, but she's had it. Anyway, I'm going to go. So thank you for joining me today. It's been lovely just to have a chat with you. Last one of the year. It's hard to believe, isn't it? So don't forget, please join me next week, 4 o'clock, for interview with our very own Dan from Manchester, Mr. Epine DeVale. And then the week after, the Christmas Cuppa catch-up cards, also at 4 o'clock. So that's the 14th with Dan, 21st with Jen. And yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Have a brilliant weekend. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.